This is what dopamine actually does in your brain, and why everything you think you know about dopamine detox is probably wrong. We're going deep into the most misunderstood neurotransmitter in your body, from its role in motivation and addiction to whether you can actually reset your brain. Let's start with what dopamine actually is. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger that neurons use to communicate with each other. But here's where it gets interesting. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical that popular culture makes it out to be. That's one of the biggest misconceptions floating around the internet today. Dr. Anna Lembke from Stanford Medicine puts it perfectly. The reward pathways in our brains have actually been conserved over millions of years of evolution and across species. Even the most primitive worm will be driven by this reward system to move toward food. This ancient system didn't evolve for likes on social media. It evolved to keep us alive. Dopamine is produced in specific brain regions, the substantia nigra, ventral tegmental area, and hypothalamus. The process is fascinating. Your brain takes the amino acid tyrosine, converts it to L-dopa, and then enzymes transform that into dopamine. It's a two-step chemical dance that's been perfecting itself for millions of years. But here's where the science gets really wild. In 1997, researcher Wolfram Schultz discovered something called reward prediction error. This is dopamine's secret weapon. Instead of just making you feel good, dopamine is actually your brain's prediction machine. It spikes when something better than expected happens, and it dips when reality falls short of your predictions. Think about it this way. If you expect a text message to make you happy, and it does, dopamine doesn't spike much. But if you get an unexpected message from someone you've been hoping to hear from, boom, massive dopamine surge. This is why intermittent reinforcement is so powerful in everything from slot machines to social media algorithms. Now let's talk about addiction, because this is where dopamine's reputation gets really dark. Different substances hijack this system in terrifying ways. Alcohol can increase dopamine by 40 to 360%. Cocaine, over 300%. But amphetamines, including methamphetamine, trigger dopamine surges of up to 1,000% above baseline. That's not a typo. 1,000%. To put that in perspective, eating food might bump your dopamine up by 50%. Sex might double it. But these drugs create dopamine levels that are literally off the charts. Dr. Keith Humphreys from Stanford explains the problem. We've got an old brain in a new environment. That vulnerability didn't matter much for 99.9% of human evolution until global commerce and industrial chemistry made highly addictive substances easy to access. Here's the cruel irony of addiction. As tolerance builds, the wanting increases while the liking decreases. This is called the incentive salience model. Addicts desperately want the drug, their dopamine system is screaming for it, but they get less and less pleasure from actually using it. It's a neurochemical prison where the key keeps getting smaller. But addiction isn't just about illegal drugs. The smartphone has become what researchers call the modern-day hypodermic needle, delivering digital dopamine for a wired generation. Every notification, every like, every swipe is designed to trigger that same reward prediction error system that cocaine exploits. This brings us to the dopamine detox craze, and here's where we need to separate science from snake oil. The term dopamine detox was coined by Dr. Cameron Sipa, who works with tech workers and venture capitalists. But here's what most people miss. Sipa never claimed you could actually lower your dopamine levels by avoiding pleasurable activities. The science is clear on this. Dopamine doesn't actually decrease when you avoid stimulating activities. As Harvard Medical School bluntly states, a dopamine fast doesn't actually lower your dopamine levels. The whole concept of chemically resetting your dopamine is neurobiologically impossible. So why do some people feel better after a dopamine detox? It's not because they've chemically reset anything. It's because they've broken behavioral patterns and reduced their exposure to supernormal stimuli. When you stop constantly checking your phone, you're not lowering dopamine. You're giving your prediction error system a break from artificial hyper-rewards. Dr. Sipa's original intention was much more nuanced. He wanted people to become less dominated by unhealthy stimuli and regain control over their automatic responses. It's cognitive behavioral therapy, not neurochemistry. But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Brand new research from 2025 is completely revolutionizing our understanding of dopamine. A study from the University of Colorado discovered that dopamine doesn't work like a broadcast system flooding your brain. Instead, it operates with surgical precision, delivering highly localized messages to specific nerve cell branches at exact moments in time. Even more shocking, research from McGill University is challenging the fundamental assumption that dopamine controls movement speed and force. For decades, we thought dopamine was like a gas pedal for movement. Turns out it might be more like the oil in an engine, working quietly in the background to enable movement rather than controlling its intensity. This has massive implications for treating Parkinson's disease, where dopamine-producing neurons gradually die. As Dr. Nicholas Tritch explains, our findings suggest we should rethink dopamine's role in movement. Restoring dopamine to a normal level may be enough to improve movement. That could simplify how we think about Parkinson's treatment. Meanwhile, MIT researchers discovered that dopamine plays a crucial role in fear extinction. Basically, it's your brain's all-clear signal that helps you stop being afraid when danger has passed. When this system doesn't work properly, it might contribute to anxiety disorders and PTSD. Perhaps most surprising of all, new research shows dopamine is involved in reshaping memories of past rewarding events. This completely violates what scientists expected. As one researcher put it, it's a violation of what we expected, revealing that dopamine's role is more complex than previously thought. So what can you actually do with this knowledge? First, understand that you can't detox dopamine, but you can definitely change your relationship with artificial rewards. Research shows that taking a break from supernormal stimuli for about a month can help reset your reward prediction errors. Not because you're lowering dopamine, but because you're recalibrating what feels rewarding. Dr. Anna Lembke recommends a month-long break from your digital drug of choice, whether it's Instagram, gaming, or endless YouTube scrolling. This decreases anxiety and depression while enhancing your ability to enjoy more modest, natural rewards again. The key is moderation and intentional living. Instead of demonizing dopamine, focus on cultivating healthier habits through evidence-based strategies like mindfulness, good sleep, and building emotional resilience. Remember, dopamine isn't your enemy. It's an ancient survival mechanism that's trying to help you navigate a world it was never designed for. The problem isn't the molecule, it's the environment we've created where artificial hyper-rewards are constantly available. Understanding dopamine's true role helps you make better choices about how you spend your time and attention. It's not about achieving some mythical state of dopamine purity. It's about working with your brain's natural reward systems instead of letting them be exploited by forces that don't have your best interests at heart. Your brain is incredibly complex and still full of mysteries that science is just beginning to unravel. But one thing is clear. The more we understand about dopamine, the more we realize how much we still don't know.